if you're elected, do you have plans to implement those improvements? What kind and in what particular area?
You know, this is a very big borough. It runs from Montreal West, Westmount, the town of Mount Royal, over to Outremont. Population of almost 170,000 people. It's the largest borough in terms of population in the city of Montreal. In the past 4 years, one of the things that I heard most clearly from people was the poor state of our roads and sidewalks and bike paths. In 4 years since I was elected, we've managed to repave 40% of the borough's streets and sidewalks and bike paths. And that's because there has been decades of neglect in terms of our infrastructure. So we're going to continue that. We're going to continue that rhythm of improvements to our infrastructure. We've invested heavily in our parks, in our buildings. We're going to reconfigure certain corners. The Victoria Van Horn corner, just a few steps from here, is due for a redesign. We're going to ultimately get to redesign Queen Mary and Cote de Neiges. These infrastructure issues are very, very significant in this borough, and that's one of the things I want to continue to focus on in the next 4 years to carry forward the good work that we've been doing in the last 4 years.
Is there any other plans you have for the community?
Well, of course. One of the very significant issues in particularly Cote de Neiges, but not only Cote de Neiges, is poverty and housing. And so locally in the borough, I launched a community roundtable on poverty reduction. And it's sort of a blue ribbon committee that's whose mandate is to present to the Borough Council an action plan to reduce poverty in the community. It's a very significant initiative. No other borough in the city of Montreal, to my knowledge, has undertaken this type of process. It's been used in big cities like Toronto and Edmonton and Winnipeg, and so it can be applied to a big city environment. And I'm very anxious to receive the report next year of this community roundtable to see how we can actively reduce poverty in our community. The other issue, of course, is housing. And we've stepped up our objectives in terms of inspectors for poor housing conditions. We're cracking down on those few very recalcitrant landlords who continue to rent out apartments which are not habitable. And in fact, finally, I would say that we've established a fund where in the worst circumstances, where the safety and security of tenants is at risk, we have a fund where the borough will pay to do the necessary work, again, where the safety and security of the tenant is at risk. And then we will bill the landlord, and if the landlord won't pay, we'll put a lien on their building. So we're being very proactive in trying to improve the quality of housing stock right throughout the community. So it's a new fund that we've just put in place. It's just been activated around the 1st of July. So we will start using that fund. But I'm told by our inspectors, even the threat of us coming in and doing the work on behalf of the landlord often prompts the landlord to do the work him or herself. And so the mere existence of this policy and this fund is encouraging landlords to make the appropriate renovations because they know if we come in and do them or if we order them done, they'll tend to be more expensive, the bill is going to be much higher, and so it's really to the advantage of the landlord to act. And as I say, I'm told by our borough services that the mere existence of this policy and fund is prompting landlords to act more quickly when the safety and security of tenants is at risk.
What made you decide to join the Equipe de Nicole there?
Yeah, so I was elected in 2013 with a different political party, Coalition Montreal, whose leader at that time was Marcel Cote. I had left politics after 14 years as the Liberal member of the National Assembly for NDG. was working at Concordia University, where I was an administrator and an adjunct professor. And Marcel Cote, who I knew quite well, approached me to run with his team in Cote Neiges NDG. And so, you know, I discussed it with my family and my wife, and decided that I would offer my services to the community. And that's really the way in which I approach this. It's as though I'm going for a job interview. And, you know, if the people of Cote Neiges NDG want my services and my experience and my knowledge and my leadership, then I'm offering it to them, and was successful in 2013. To my surprise, Denis Coderre, who at that time was a political adversary, invited me to join his executive committee as the member responsible for urban planning and housing. And so I did that, and I've been a member of his administration for 4 years, and have come to admire Mr. Coderre greatly for his leadership, for his administration of the city. And so I decided to join his team last year and run with him and with a wonderful local team that we've put together here in the borough. As I say, having worked alongside him as a member of his executive committee, having achieved certain results in the areas of housing and urban planning, and a great deal of influx of money into this borough from the Denis Coderre administration, all of those factors, and his leadership, he's been very, provided excellent leadership in the areas of living together and of diversity, whether it's minority rights, the rights of people of different sexual orientation, the addition of a native symbol to our flag. Mr. Coderre has provided tremendous leadership to reflect the diversity of Montreal. And so for all of those reasons, it was very easy for me to join his team, and I'm very honored to represent his party in the upcoming elections. With Lionel Perez in Darlington, with Tiffany Callender in Cote des Neiges, the executive director of the Cote des Neiges Black Community Association, with Salvador Buddy Cabugao in Snowdon, Hélène Etier in NDG, and Gabrielle Retta in Loyola. You have, I think, you know, and our posters will be coming out soon, you will see a picture, a wonderful picture, a combination of devotion to community, of life experience, of professional experience, and of diversity that really reflects this borough. And I'm very, very proud to have, for example, 2 members of the Black community running with us, to have a distinguished member of the Montreal Filipino community running with us. And so for me, that was very, very important to have that diversity that reflects this, one of the most diverse boroughs in the city of Montreal. Hello, it's an honor to address a couple of words to you today. I'm very, very pleased as the borough mayoralty candidate in Cote des Neiges NDG to be running with the Équipe Coderre, and to have built alongside me a tremendous team of candidates in the 5 districts, including, of course, Salvador Buddy Cabugao in Snowdon. We've had very close relationships with the Montreal Filipino community. I was tremendously honored to be named an honorary Knight Commander of the Knights of Rizal. And with Buddy and with Tiffany in Cote des Neiges, Lionel Perez in Darlington, Hélène in NDG, and Gabrielle in Loyola, we pledged to continue this very close association we have with the Filipino community in Montreal, a community that's so important to this city, that reflects the diversity of this city and the richness of this city. And so I look forward to the next coming weeks, to meeting with many people, continuing the debates on issues of significant importance to your listeners, and hope for a large turnout on the 5th of November in the upcoming municipal elections. Thank you.